on to another show that we're all three of us are quite excited for is the news that dropped today that traitors, civilians or muggles, what do you guys call it?
We call them civilians. It always sounds really weird.
Yeah.
Muggles.
Like the celebrities are somehow at war when they do it. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. It is pretty big, this, though, because it feels like the BBC certainly are trying to hook viewers by getting their big guns out on day one of next year.
Yeah.
And they know that if they hook that audience, they're going to be able to have that audience watching shows either side, just before and just after Traitors. And I bet you they do 2 shows in a row. So they might do one on January the 1st and January the 2nd. So I think it's really clever. And I'm amazed that they've managed to keep it a secret for this long.
I thought so as well, because I mean, I was asking you guys, it's rare for me to just be waiting for an announcement for a TV show, but I love Traitors, and I've just been waiting for this, and I knew that it premiered the last 2 January, so I was kind of just like, when are they going to announce the show? And then they obviously announced, or you broke the news, Flick, that various celebrities were joining the Celebrity Traitors, which hasn't even started filming yet.
It doesn't film till the spring of next year.
So now that we've got the civilians Traitors coming, which is arguably the best, everyone wants the random people.
I think that there's a thing with the Traitors where people want to preserve the magic.
Yeah.
So it isn't necessarily, everyone knew that it was probably January, but it was like, so for example, it's one of the few shows that we don't spoil. If we find something out in terms of the gameplay, we wouldn't spoil it.
Yeah, okay. Would you ever allude to anything?
You would need to be incredibly clever.
Our readers would be so angry.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some things that we just wouldn't do, even if we knew, to sort of protect the magic. And I've been to the Traitors Castle.
Have you?
And there's certain things in that castle which I am sworn to secrecy about, because it's about the preserving the magic of the show and how they make it and where things happen.
Well, I only found out yesterday that they don't even stay there.
No, exactly.
That is insane to me.
They stay in a hotel about 10 miles away or something.
I actually wish that was something that was kept. I mean, I'm saying it now on a radio show. I wish that was something that was kept, out of way from the public. Like, I think it's nice to know. I mean, because I'd be like, I wonder if, they're hanging out at night. Because remember there was speculation that Harry and, what was the girl? Molly, even though they both had partners, were actually secretly crushing on each other.
I think they secretly were.
Yeah, I think they did like each other.
Yeah.
It was probably just that they're both, he's a good-looking guy, she's a good-looking girl, and everyone's like, oh, they want that to happen.
Yeah. But they were awfully close. But do you remember that episode when she found out that he was the last episode when she found out that he was the traitor?
It was brilliant telly though, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
You couldn't have written that, you couldn't have scripted it and turned that into drama. It's utterly brilliant.
Oh.
Do you know what? So when I was there, we went up to interview Claudia ahead of the second series, and we interviewed Claudia in that round table room.
Yeah.
And that is exactly how it looks on telly. I'm happy to confirm.
Okay,
I was thrilled about it. But we played a game of the Traitors, and one of us was tapped on the shoulder by Claudia. We all had the blindfolds on, and I was the traitor. And
typecasting there.
Yeah, I know. I was like, of course, fine. And I was useless at it. It is so
it's
hard.
tough.
Lying, having a quick answer. It's not just what you say.
Have
it's what
you not
do,
played?
What you look like. Oh my God, a nightmare.
Have you ever played Mafia or Werewolf or because it's based on one of those games?
It's the same thing, isn't
my
it?
family we play Werewolf all the time. We played it. I was away with a group of friends in August. We played it, and it is. I hate being the traitor. I hate being the werewolf. I find it so tough.
Yeah. So the fact that Harry, I just think he played incredible. So the first series,
amazing.
None of the traitors were. Wilf was great, but none of them were impressive on the level that Harry was.
No.
It was just like his brain worked on another. He was 5 steps ahead, wasn't he? And I just think that's why we all felt such devastation for Molly.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone was unhappy that Harry won, because he deserved
everyone wanted
that, didn't
Harry
he?
to win, because he was We knew that he was a lovely guy. We knew that he was a lovely guy, but we knew that he just was playing the game, because then you have a few of those people that just seem like absolute tossers.
Yeah, but he's the ultimate baby-faced assassin.
Yeah.
And in a way, those people, I was just like, you're such suckers, because I think they do. It's funny, we do judge books by their covers still, whether even if we think we don't. You know, you see a young lad, they all knew he was ex-military, or actually at the time he was just military.
He was, yeah, that's right.
You know, he's good looking, he's kind of, but like I say, baby faced, and we just go, oh, he can't possibly be anything other than a good guy.
Yeah.
But
Ronnie, would you want to be a traitor or a faithful?
Yeah, what would you want to be?
Oh, I don't think anyone wants to be a traitor, but I think the difference is once you get cast as a traitor and then you embrace it and get into it, I bet you then it becomes a real...
I think some people want to be traitors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
People say that, don't they? You know, we get sent the interviews before the show goes out, and some people say, I want to be a traitor.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of see the people.
Well, Claudia, like, you know those scenes that they show at the beginning where Claudia sits down to talk to them about what it would be like? Claudia is actually instrumental in choosing. She does have those combos. Yeah, because we said that. We were like, that's obviously just for the show. And she said, no, I'll actually have those combos and say, I think that person would be amazing. And she'd always said, Harry will be amazing.
Wow.
The other one that she really liked was Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, of course, Paul.
Yeah,
Mr. Scene.
That was hilarious. Paul was so funny. I thought he would go further, to be honest, but he was hilarious. We were all obsessed with Paul.
Yeah.